let's wait. Let's get everyone, please make sure you have your phone on silent. You know what I'm saying? Let's put your phones on silent. Try and get the kids seated as well, Lord willing. Right? First precept, right? This is, so like, yeah, let's get some order, please, guys, yeah? Right? We're going to get to this lesson. This is important, right? Let's first start off, give me Acts 5, and let's start on verse 34, man. Right? Because this is an important feast day. It's an important feast day, man. Rededicating your temple back unto the Most High. Right? This is an important thing, man. Satan tried to stop this, man. Right? Like the brother was saying, Satan tried to stop this feast day, man. Right? And there's many warlocks in the Israelite community, man. Right? Set up to do God knows what. But let's read what the scripture says. Start at Acts 5 and 24.
Acts 5 verse 34, and it reads, Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in repetition among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men.
Right, man. So anything that's to do with touching the Lord's portion, man, right, and you got to take heed, man. And that's for these nations, and that's for wicked Israelites too. Right? Take heed what you do, man. Go on.
And it reads, For before these days rose up Theodas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain.
Who were what?
Who was slain.
So these men, they followed after this wicked Israelite, man. Right? And they were slain. That's the judgment the Lord has set up for other nations, for us that follow these wicked Israelites, man. Go on.
And it reads, And all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught.
And were what?
Were scattered and brought to naught.
Right, so they were brought to nothing. Go on.
After this, man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished.
He what?
He also perished. And all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men.
Do what?
Refrain from these men.
Hey, those men that are being righteous, sisters, kids that are being righteous, refrain from these men. Right? Because the Lord has a protection over these people, man. Right, go on.
And it reads, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For this is the counsel, or this counsel, for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
Go on.
But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it.
You cannot what?
Ye cannot overthrow it.
You cannot what?
Ye cannot overthrow it.
So if it's of the Most High, you can't overthrow this thing, man. That's why we're here today, man. By the grace of the Most High. Right? Come on, give me Mark chapter 7 and verse 8. Right? So if it's of the Most High, you cannot overthrow this, man. That's literally why we're here today. Right? Issue with the keys and that, but hey, I'll show you how we're here, man. Let's read that.
Matthew
7. Mark 7.
Mark 7 verse 8.
Come on.
Mark 7 verse 8, and it reads, For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do.
Right, so in this season today, people are holding Christmas, man. Right? Hellenistic days that are not of the Most High. These are traditions of men. We are not here keeping traditions of men. This is ordained of the Most High, man. Right, read on.
And it reads, And he said unto them, Full well ye reject the commandment of God.
You do what?
Ye full well reject the commandment of God.
So people reject God's commandments, man, in following the feast days, man. Right? What Christian church do you know they're keeping the 7 high holy days, man? Right? There's none. There's not a lot of them. Right? They call themselves Pentecostal. Ask them if they even know about the day of Pentecost. Right? We had that account. They don't know about these days. They don't know about dedication. They don't know about Passover. They don't even know what the Passover is about. Right? Go on.
It reads, that ye may keep your own tradition.
Your what?
Your own tradition.
Go on.
For Moses said, Honor thy father and thy mother, and whosoever curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
See that? Hey, that's the judgment, man. And that's Christ that said that. Right. But I thought Christ, he loves everybody. Hey, Christ was on timing, man. Right? Christ was on timing, man. All praise to the Most High, man. So we're talking about the Feast of Dedication. You got to get into prophecy, into history, to see where in the Bible do we find out about this feast that the Lord has ordained for us to keep. Right? Give me Ezekiel 12 and 25. Right? Because everything that the Lord says in the scriptures, it comes to pass. Right? We obviously have the Bible to limit our understanding, But the Lord can do what he wants, right? But let's read that, Brother Shal.
Ezekiel 12 verse 25. But I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass.
Shall what?
Shall come to pass.
See that? So whatever the Most High says, us going into captivity, us being judged, the Lord set that up. He ordained that to happen, right? Because of our disobedience. Like they say in the world today, if you don't hear, you must. Right. And this is the feeling that we're in today. That's the feeling that we're in. Read on.
And it reads, Salakia, it shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it.
See that? So at the Most High, when he says this is going to happen to you, why am I getting judged? Hey, it's because you're committing sin. It's because you're going through. And once we've understood that, we've been committing sin. But now we're facing tribulations that the Lord throws at us day in, day out. Right? Because we're that stone tried in the fire. Give me Sirach 2, Brother Shal. Right? And you jump straight to verse, I think start verse 3, Brother Shal. Right? We're that stone tried in the fire. Right? Just like Israel was during the time of the Maccabees. Right? During the period of the Seleucid dynasty that was set up to try and test Israel, man. Go on.
Sirach 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Go on.
Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure.
And do what?
And constantly endure.
Right. Because that's the spirit that, the men, we have to have that spirit of constantly enduring, man. For your families, for your household. Same with the sisters too. That, the Bible says there's no respect of person. So the sisters, you got to endure too. Right? You got to follow, you might be, it might just be you in this thing, but you got to endure. Look at Esther. Right? Look at Ruth. Look at all these women, right, that are, we see in the scriptures that are an example just as much as for the men, for the women too, that endured through perilous times, man. Go on.
And it reads, set thy heart aright, constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire.
What?
For gold is tried in the fire.
Gold is tried in the fire, man. And Israel being the Lord's anointed, and we are tried in the fire. We are constantly going to be tried, man. Right? And we know that in this truth, but it's now what we do going forward to decide where we're going to be at, man. Right? But can't. Let's get into the history now, man. Let's go to Sirach 33 and start at verse 14. Right? So to understand the meaning behind the Feast of Dedications, we have to understand the captivities that were set to take place, right? So real quick, I'm going to throw it out there. If anyone gets it, I will praise the Most High, right? So the first, anyone name the 6 major feast captivities that took place? Anyone? 6 major captivities. I know any brother, any sister. The 6 major captivities that we read about in the scriptures. Anyone? 6 major, right? All right, Babylonian, Egypt, Persian, Romans, right? All praises, see? All praises, right? And that's the spirit of prophecy, knowing these things. It's important to know these things, right? So you have obviously 7, right? We have the Egyptian, Assyrian, Babylonian, the Persian, right? And the Persians, that's the Persian means, that's the Achaemenid Empire, right? And you have the Greeks, and you have the Romans, and we have today the Neo-Babylonians that we're under now. Right, that's the last and final captivity. Right, Khan. So you got that Sirach 33 and start verse 14, Brother Shal.
Sirach 33 verse 14, and it reads, what good is set against evil, and life against death? So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the God.
Right, so you have Israel, just like in the time of Adam, you had the chosen Adam and the other, they were the children of the flesh. We are not the children of the flesh. Right, so there's always good against evil. Cain and Abel. Jacob and Esau, right? You have good against evil. Read verse 15 as well, Brother Shal.
Verse 15, and it reads, so look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another.
Right, so you're always going to have that. And it's always going to be Israel against these other nations. It's always going to be that, right? So let's go into Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 2 and let's start at verse number 19, right? Daniel Allah in the Hebrew, meaning God is my judge, right? So let's get Daniel started. Daniel 2 and verse number 19, man. Because the prophets of old, and they were prophesying, and that's how the Most High works, man. He will use someone as an instrument to show his works, man, and to tell you and to warn you of the time that's to come on the earth. Right? Let's start verse 19.
Daniel 2, verse 19. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed Yahweh, the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of Yahweh, the God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. He changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings.
He do a what?
He removeth kings.
So the Lord removes kings. Even when you see these kings in power today, he can remove them, man. Right? They just had, in South Korea, they tried to impeach the president. And you can see this system in the last days that it's weak, man. Right? They had what's that Edomite that was in power, prime minister for a few weeks or so. Right? This system is falling apart as we see. The Lord is revealing that unto you. He will set up a king, set up whoever, and get them right out of the way, man. Just like we see these different captivities, the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Persian Medes, they were set up, literally set up for the Most High to show his works, man. Right? Go on.
And it reads, kings, and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge unto them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and that the light dwelleth within them.
Come on, so the Most High literally, and he's the author of all things, right? So he knows, and he set this up, man. He's watching this movie play its part and take its course right now, right? So come on, let's go into Daniel chapter 7, let's start at verse 2. Because Daniel, you read in Daniel 2 as well, we see the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw, right? And we also have these beasts, man, right? And we know that a man is beast, right? As per Ecclesiastes 3 and I believe it's 18, right? A man is beast. That's why the children of Israel are called the lost, right? Who prays to the Most High.
Daniel 7 verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Right, so these four beasts that we read about in the scriptures, they're going into four kingdoms, right? Kingdoms that are set up to take, rule over the world, man, right? So let's read about, and it says that they were diverse one from another, right? We was in the museum, you see that, you can go into history, you see all these different kingdoms, how they build, right? All the things, the methods of wickedness they have, man, they're all different, right? Diverse one from another, right? Let's read on, Dr. Shal.
And it reads, the first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. And I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Right? Anyone know what captivity that is, or who's that? What captivity that's talking about? Right? That would be the Babylonian captivity. Right? You see in the museum, you see these statues, right? With you got a man's head, right? They got a lion's feet. And they got the wings, man, right? And these things, they signify how lethal these kingdoms were, man, right? Because the Assyrians and the Babylonians, they weren't ones to play with. When you go into the Persian Medes, they were a bit more softer, right? That's why they, when you look at during the time of Esther, they G-checked the king. They G-checked the king. They said, hey, this Daniel guy, he's preaching to another god, man. You can't let that happen, right? They were a bit softer, man. Right, but let's read on verse 5.
Verse 5, and it reads, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, but it raised up itself on one side.
Right. Anyone know what this one is? Right? Anyone? This would be the Persian Medes. Right? This would be the Persian Medes. Right? Go on. And it had three ribs.
And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it.
Yep.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
Right, and when you read in the time of Esther, I believe it's go to that as well. Esther 8. Esther with the provinces of Shal. Right? The kingdom of the Persian Medes, they had, when it says they had 3 ribs, that's going into the 3 battles that decided the Persians taking over from the Medes. Right? Because the Medes and the Persians were one united empire. Right? But let's get a book of Shal.
Esther 8 verse 5 and said, if it please the king, and I found much favor in his sight, that the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces. Calm. Keep going as well.
So the provinces of the Persians, right, that was literally the region of the Fertile Crescent, going from the coast, if you want to say, of Israel, where Israel will be today, all the way up until around the area of India, right? That's the region that the Persian Medes had, right? And let's get Esther, this is the Esther 16, right? Because we can read that the Edomites, and they've been crafty from the start, man. They've been crafty from the start. I'll call that a song or something. Crafty from the start, right? Edition of Esther, chapter 16, and we're reading verse 10, right? Additions to Esther, right? Because the Esau, and he's a crafty devil, man. Crafty devil, right? And he had spies, man, right? Set up to try and destroy Israel and the kingdom of the Persians, man. Go on.
And it reads, Esther 16, verse 10. For a man, a Macedonian.
A who?
A Macedonian.
Right, a Greek, right? Go on.
The son of Amminadab,
right?
Being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood.
Right, so he was a stranger from the Persians, but he was amongst the Persians. When you read in the book of Esther, right? Go on.
And it reads, Persian blood, far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received from us.
Right? Because when you go into the Persians and the Medes, they had many nations, mercenaries from different nations in their kingdom. Go on.
And it reads, verse 11, had so far forth obtained the favor that we showed toward every nation, as that he was called our father, and was continually honored of all men as the next person unto the king.
Right, because he was below the king, right? I believe it's either Xerxes or Artaxerxes, right? Go on.
And it reads, but he, not bearing his dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life.
Right, so that's Esau for you, crafty, right? He's trying to deprive you of your life, man. He does that today, right? He says, oh, we're liberals, we're universal, we're all one people. But really, he's Satan, man. You understand that. Go on.
And it reads, verse 13, having by manifold and cunning deceits sought of us the destruction, as well as
Mordecai.
Anyways, who saved our life and continually procured our good, as also the blameless Esther, blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom with their whole nation. And it reads, for by these means he fought, finding destitute of our friends, to his translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
So point being is that Haman, he wanted to translate the kingdom from the Persians to the Greeks, because the Greeks were the next beast to come up. Right, go to Daniel 7 and let's read let's start from verse 6 now, right? Because this is where the Greeks come into play. And this is history that we have to understand if you want to know why people are called Greeks in the scripture, right?
Daniel 7 verse 6, you want to know, yeah? Daniel 7 verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Right, so can anyone know what beast or kingdom this is talking about? Right, a leopard. Anyone know? Right, Greek. Alright, it would be the Greek. And the 4 heads that it goes into, right, that's going into Alexander's generals. Right? Alexander had generals and these were his friends. Right? And Alexander was off, man. Right? So let's go to First Maccabees. Right? Let's go to First Maccabees, man. Right?
First Maccabees 1 verse 1. And it reads, and it happened after Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. And he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
Right, so Alexander reigned his father, Philip II, he was assassinated. And Alexander was, he had to come up and step up and take control, man. And he came, and he, swift as an eagle, literally as it says in the scriptures, swift as an eagle, he devoured and took over that whole land that the Persians had, man. Right? Read on, Baba Shah.
And it reads, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
See that? And Esau, when Esau comes into power, the people are mourning, man. Right? Because how you were Edomite, this is your kingdom, and you're outside, man. You're sleeping outside. That's confusion. This is your kingdom. You should be thriving. You should be at the top. But you're poor, man. So this shows you, Esau has that spirit, and when he comes to power, the world's quiet, man. And you can't hear nothing. You're outside, right? It's cold, man. Right? And it's like it says in the scriptures, when the righteous are in rulership, and the people are going to be rejoicing, paraphrasing. When Israel's in rulership, people, there's not going to be anybody outside, man. They're going to be outside the kingdom, though, right? Let's read on here.
And it reads, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
Right, like it says in Obadiah, man. Right, he's prideful. Right, go on.
And it reads, and he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, and became tributaries unto him. And after these things, he fell sick, and perceived that he should die.
Right, so why did he die, man? Right, he fell sick, man, because they say Alexander the Great, and he was a freak, man. Right, in the Greek Empire, that thing there, the wife of that thing, that was normal. Right, man with man, that was a normal thing. They didn't see that as anything. There's nothing wrong today. And that's the same spirit Esau has. Right, it doesn't mean anything. Right, why can't I love him? Why can't I do that? That's wicked, man. But it's in their spirit. You know what I'm saying? Give me, real quick, Ecclesiastes 1:4. And that shows you that the spirit behind people, they still got that same spirit, man. Right, and they got this thing called pedestrian, man. Right, they got these grown men with young kids, man. That's normal. You see these statues, one on top of the BBC, right? They got this man, and there's a child there, man, next to him. Right, that's inhumane, man. Right, let's read that.
Proverbs 1 verse 4. One generation. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh.
Right, because that shows you that these people is, the regeneration, man. These people are the same wicked seed that were in the earth at that time. They're here today, man. Right? That's why they're so universal, man. Right? That's because they're the final beast, right? That's in existence. Right? But let's go back to First Maccabees. Right? First Maccabees, give me verse, jump to verse 9. Right? So Alexander, he died, man. He died due to doing his thing with a man. Right? Let's put it like that. Right? There's a quote that says, I don't know if anyone's seen that documentary on Netflix about Alexander. Kind of shows his relationship with his friends or his generals. And the man washing together in that, man. It's madness. What? Hey. And then Esau trying to debunk it and say, oh no, he wasn't like that. He's trying to debunk it. And they fact checked it in. Right? And we know what Esau gets up to, man. Right? They got these freak clubs, man. Right?
First Maccabees 1 verse 9. After his death, they were all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
Right, so that's going into Alexander's generals. You had Ptolemy, Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucid, right? Antigonus. These were people that had wars amongst themselves. That's known as the War of the Diadochi, right? And it was so bad that the Romans, which are the same people, they have to get involved, right? And then, they split up the land, right? You had Ptolemy, he was ruling in the side of Egypt and some of Israel. Seleucid took the kingdom of the Persians. Antigonus being in that Asia Minor region, right? Let's go down to verse 16, Bible Shop.
Verse 16, and it reads.
So that's it. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Right, because even in this time when Antiochus, right, Epiphanes came into rulership, there were wicked Israelites, man. Right, warlocks and witches, man, set up, man. Right, trying to be deceitful and cunning towards our people, man, to leave and depart from the laws. Go on.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So Israel sometimes think that when we are suffering, man, we need to go to our oppressor for help, man. Right? Hey, Moses left. Let's get that quickly, Hebrews 11, I think 24. Right? You gotta be in that spirit of Moses, man. Right? Where he said, I'm gonna leave the Egyptians, man, and I'm gonna suffer with my people, man. We can't want to get down with the nations, they're gonna save you. Hey, Keir Starmer said you're not getting reparations, man. Keir Starmer said you're not getting reparations. Oh, you think you're retiring? Or we're gonna raise that age 5 more years. Right? But you came in with a windrush, or you go back with a windrush. And that's what they're on, man. Right? So Esau, and he's perpetually wicked, man. Right? You got that?
Right. Hebrews 11, verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God, rather than to enjoy the pleasures of sin.
See that? So that's what we got to be in that spirit, man, of choosing to suffer with our people, right? And it's that rededicating ourselves, man. That's suffering with your people, right? Gloriously, right? Let's go back to First Maccabees.
First Maccabees 1, verse.
Start at verse. Give me verse 17.
Verse 17, and it reads, Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots, with elephants, horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death.
So, like I said, the war of the Diadochi, these generals of Alexander, they were warring against each other, right? And Ptolemy and Antiochus, right? You literally see here, and they were Ptolemy feared Seleucid, man, right? Because Antiochus and his seat, they're known as that wicked root, right? That wicked root. Give me verse 41. Start verse 41, because all of this is history into how our people are known as the Greeks. When you read in the so-called New Testament, right, which is not just a piece of paper, right? When you read in it, you see the mentioning of Greeks. The woman was a Syrophoenician by nation. A Greek. That term Greek is used universally. It's not just Greek is not a biblical nation, and that's what will confound a lot of people, man. They think, no Jew, no Greek. It's not a biblical nation, man. Right? But can't read verse 41.
Verse 41, First Maccabees 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus brought to this whole kingdom that all should be one people. Everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath.
And did what?
And profaned the Sabbath.
So our people are still Greek today, man. And this is that period of Hellenization. Right? Hellenization is when you're literally leaving the custom of yours, right, and now following after the manner of the Greeks. Right? Give me 2 Maccabees 4 and verse 15. Hold that. Because that shows you that when you say something like, our people are Hellenized today, they're still following after Esau's way, man. Right? They're walking around and wearing jumpers with rainbows on them, man. And it doesn't say Genesis on it. Right?
2 Maccabees 4 verse 15. Not sitting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians, best of all.
See that? So the Israelites preferred the way of the Grecians. Right? Like we read about Antiochus, he forced them. Right? And that the brother will go into. And they were forced to do certain acts, commit certain things, right? That would literally, like reading Jeremiah 17, that would make them discontinue from their heritage. Literally, that's what that is, right? So they preferred the things of the Grecians, man, with these gymnasiums, man. And gymnasium really, that would be men working out with no clothes on, man, right? And that's Esau for you, man, right?
And it reads, profane the Sabbath, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem for the cities of Judea, and they should follow the strange laws of the land.
And follow what?
The strange laws of the land.
But like Christmas, man, they were probably keeping these, winter solstice, right? All these things that were contrary to what their fathers knew, right? You go certain places and throughout the world, you ask them about, homosexuality, man. They don't know what it is. That's not in there. That's not their custom. But you got, the Americans, they come over to your country and they try to enforce that. And they say, okay, will make you give you some money. You just got to allow same-sex marriage, right? And if you do, we'll give you a big check, right? Of $300 billion, whatever, man. Right? But you can't do that to the Saudis, though. How can they do that? They don't go to the Saudi countries and say, hey, do this. They don't do that, right? But our people, hey, we're so deceived, man. Right? Let's go back to first Maccabees, show. Right? Let's go to first Maccabees. First Maccabees. Right? First Maccabees. But give me first Maccabees chapter. Actually, let's go to second Maccabees. Right? Let's go to second Maccabees, man. Right? Because, hey, man, let's read that. First Maccabees 2, start verse 1 by picture. First Maccabees 2 and 1. Because this is where we read about Matthias, man, and his sons that, rededicated the temple, man. Right? Got that?
First Maccabees 2 verse 1. In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simon, a priest of the sons of Joram, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin, and had 5 sons: Jonanan, son of Cadiz, called Cadiz, Simon, called Tassis, Judas, who was called Maccabeus,
right.
Eleazar, called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Apaphus.
Right, man. So, hey, this is Matthias, man. Give me verse 6, Brother Shal.
Verse 6, you say? Verse 6. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judea and in Jerusalem, he said, woe is me.
Right, that's like us today, man. When we see our people in sin and in wickedness, hey, we kind of say, woe is me, man. We pity and we tear up for our people, man. Because we pray that they're in a better position, man. That's what we would love, man. We would love, but hey, there's got to be a 2/3, man, so they say. Right? Can't read on.
It says, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people, and of the holy city.
And of the what?
And of the holy city.
Go on.
And to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of the strangers. Her temple has become as a man without glory. The glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets.
Her what?
Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Go on.
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom,
right,
and gotten of her spoil?
Right, man. So, hey, Matthias, man, and he saw the misery of his people, man, right, and the wickedness that was taking place when the so-called European man, right, the Edomite, when he came into power, man, right? Give me, let's go to read verse 12 as well, Bible shot.
Verse 12, and it reads, and behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste. And the Gentiles have profaned it.
See that? The Gentiles, man. So these other nations, they profane the temple. Right? They profane the temple, man. Right? Jump down to verse 18, man. Right? Because, hey, that's what Esau does, man. He tries to put you in a position where you will pick the Most High, or you're going to pick him. Right? But we pick the Most High, man. That's what we're here today, man.
Right.
Huh?
Right?
Go on, read that.
Verse 18, and it reads, now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judea also, such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
See that? See, that's Esau for you, man. Right? That's what they do with these record labels, man. Right? How much you want? Oh, you got to do this, man. You got to do some sort of freakism to get in that top position, man, to be the king's friend. And we're not trying to be the king's friend, man. We're trying to be a servant of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai, man. Right? You done?
Verse 19, and Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, so like they fall away every one from their rebellion, so like the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Right, read on.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
See that? So, hey, Matthias said, hey, God forbid that we would forsake the ordinances of our fathers, man. We got to move in that spirit, man. He stood up, man. He stood up and said, hey, God forbid, man, if I had to sacrifice something on the altar, right, some swine. Like we seen in the museum, man, they had a, what was it, man? They had a pig, a statue of a pig, man. That's off. Right, and that's in the Greek section. 2 pigs, to be specific, man, that the brother just said. Right? Read on.
And it reads, Verse 22. Now will we not hearken, we will not hearken to the king's words to go for our religion, either to the right or to the left.
Right, see that? So, hey, Matthew said, and we're not going to listen to what the king's saying, man. Right, like it says in the scripture, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto Christ what's Christ, man. To the Lord what's the Lord, man. Right, that's the sacrifice. That's you being here. That's you rendering, that's you rededicating your temple, man. That's a spiritual sacrifice, man. Right? Come on, read on.
And it reads, now when he had left speaking with these words, there came one of the Jews in sight of all to sacrifice on the altar. Let me read from top. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal. His brains trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
And did what?
He ran and slew him upon the altar.
Hey, Mattathias stood up, man. Right? Mattathias said, yo, hey, hold on, man. And you kind of thrust him through, man. Right? That's the spirit that the men got to be in, man. When we see wickedness, and you got to say, hey, what the hell is going on here, man? In wisdom, obviously. But when we see wickedness taking place, like in the time of the Maccabees, man, and man said, hey, well, hold on. And he thrust him through, man. Right? He had zeal, man, to stand up for his nation, man, to speak what is true, man. Because some of our, even elders in our community, and they say, let the kids do what they're going to do, man. Let them wear what they're going to wear. We can't be in that spirit, man. Obviously, with wisdom, you got to teach people and be an example. But we can't just let it go by like it's nothing, man. Right? Because now we're having respect to persons. Ain't no respect to persons, man, with the Lord, man. Right? Because that's like seeing sin taking place and saying, like, that's fine. Right? Because like Christ done, when Christ saw the people selling the temple of the Lord, what did he do, man? And he flipped over the tables, man. And he made a scourge, man. He's kind of run these man out of here, man. Right? But come on. Let's go to, give me 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, and start at verse number 50, Bible show. Right?
1 Maccabees 2, verse 50. Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law.
Be what?
Be zealous for the law.
Right?
And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Right? And it's okay to die in the truth, man. Right? Dying in the truth, that's mighty.
Right.
Right? People feel, when we look at death today, we think, oh, death is, you know. But you don't know what that a brother's dealing with, or sister dealing with internally. Right. You know, when they pass, you know, in the right way, man, hey, that's mighty, man. Especially to die for the covenant of your fathers, man. Right? Like we read about Eliezer, man. Right? He slew the elephant and he died there, man. He got a great name, man. Right? Read on.
And it reads, verse 51, call to remembrance the acts of our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Right, see that. So when we're reading these scriptures about our forefathers, our foremothers, these are great women, great men that we look up to and say, we got to move in that same spirit in terms of rededicating the temple, man. Right, give me 1 Maccabees 3 and start at verse 1, Bible shop. Right, because you had Mattathias and he passed away, he died, right, and the people mourned. But somebody else rose up, man. Right, like just, you know, when the brothers start getting older, and brothers have kids, and their kids are going to rise up, man. Right, and take their places and be teaching at camp, man. Right, Lord willing, man. We pray for that. Right, go on.
1 Maccabees 3, verse 1, and it reads, then his son, Judas, who Maccabeus, rose up in his stead.
Right, man. Judas Maccabeus, the hammer. Right, that's the hammer, Judas Maccabeus, right? Give me verse 6. Start verse 4. 5, sorry. Verse Maccabees 3 and start verse 4.
1 Maccabees 3, verse 4. In his acts, he was like a lion.
Go on.
Like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey.
See that? Go on.
For he pursued the wicked.
He did what?
He pursued the wicked.
Yeah.
And sought them out and burnt up those that vexed his people.
Hey, see that? Hey, look at that spirit, man. And he caught the heathen, like the brother said, man, caught the heathen, tied them up, man. But he blessed the Lord, man, and threw that flame on them, man. Watch them blow up, man. Right? Like they do in the movie. Right? We praise to the Most High, man. Read on.
And it reads.
And so like we're burning up the heathen and wicked Israelites with the word of God. Right? That's the real fire, man. Right? Go on.
And And it reads, wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand.
Right, imagine being around a man. He's got salvation in his hand to deliver you, bro. Right? He's got salvation in his hand. Right? Whatever it was, man. We don't know if it was a war hammer, right? If he was dual wielding, right? He had something in his hand that people were following him, man. Right? A Kimbo, man. Right? Who knows, man? Right? Read on.
And it reads, he grieved also many kings and made Jacob glad with his acts.
See that?
And
So, come on, go on.
And his memorial is blessed forever.
Right? And that's why it says in Sarah 44, man, honor these great men, man. These great men, they did mighty acts to deliver our people. Just like we have elders in Israel today, man. Do great things, man. Right? So, and we honor these elders that rule in righteousness, man. For Hashem Yahushai, man. Right? Let's go to 1 Maccabees, man. Right? Give me 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, and let's start at verse 38, Brother Shal. Right? So this is all taking place between the time period of 167 BC to about 160 BC. Right? Let's read that, Brother Shal.
1 Maccabees 4 verse 38, and it reads, and when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profane, the gates burned up, the shrubs growing in the courts, as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, yea, the priest's chambers pulled down.
Because the heathen, right, they destroyed our temples, man. But just like we read in Deuteronomy 12, and we're literally commanded to destroy their idols too.
Right.
Right? So you might be out somewhere, you kind of see something, and that's off, man. And in righteousness, man, you kind of might sit and that thing kind of drops off the table, man. Right? In righteousness, right? Because that's a commandment. Read on, King.
They rent their clothes and made great lamentation, and cast ashes upon their head, and fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried toward heaven.
So they prayed unto the Lord, man, and that's the first thing you should do, man. In the midst of battle is pray to the Lord, because like it says, let me get that piece up as well, man. Judas Maccabeus literally, and he told the Israelites, man. Right, give me 1 Maccabees 3 and go down to verse 17. It takes the Lord, it takes one power, Yahweh, to literally deliver you. You could be in the midst of however many soldiers, man. The Lord, if he deems it so, he'll deliver you, man. Let's read that.
1 Maccabees 3 verse 17. Who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against a great multitude, and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day?
Right, they were fasting too, man. Right, they were fasting too, and they got it cracking on the Sabbath day, man. Right, on the Sabbath day, Sabbath day, we're not gonna do nothing. And they said, hey, well, hold on, and they try to kill us. And let's do it then. Right, go on.
And it reads, unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few.
See that? Go on.
And with God of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company.
See that? Because the Lord, it takes him to make that decision for you to be delivered. Right? People say, oh, well, why did this happen? Hey, that's the Lord ordained that. Why did we get judged? The Lord ordained that. Just like us being delivered from, in the time of this war, right? And the Lord ordained that. Because Judas Maccabees, and there weren't a lot of men with him in comparison to these Seleucid empires. Right? They had elephants. They had elephants, which they took from Hannibal. Right? They had elephants. Right? Go on.
And it reads, verse 19. For the victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but the strength cometh from heaven.
Coming from where?
Cometh from heaven.
Go on.
They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives, and our children, and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
We do what?
We fight for our lives.
We
fight for our lives and our laws.
Right. Go on.
Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them.
Yeah. So we fight for our lives and our laws, man. Right? You done?
Now, as soon as he had left of speaking, he leapt suddenly upon them, and Sauron and his hosts were overthrown before him.
See that? Hey, that's the mighty works of the Lord, man. Right? Give me second Maccabees 1, and let's read verse 24. Right? right? Because this goes into the dedicating of the temple, man. And like I told the brother Sapayah, man, and we got to get this prayer in the Hebrew, man, because this is a mighty prayer. Right, let's read that.
And it reads, 2 Maccabees 1, verse 24. And the prayer was of this manner: O Yahweh, Yahweh God, creator of all things, who art fearful and strong, and righteous and merciful, the only and gracious King, the only giver of all things, the only just, almighty, and everlasting. Thou that deliverest Israel from all trouble. Thou that deliverest Israel from all trouble, and didst choose thy fathers and sanctify them. Receive the sacrifice of the whole people, Israel, and preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. Gather those together that are scattered from us. Deliver them that serve among the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let not the heathen know that thou art our God. Punish them that oppress us.
What do you say?
Punish them that oppress us, and pride do us wrong.
Right.
And with pride do us wrong. Plant thy people again in the holy place, as Moses have spoken.
See that? Go on.
And the priests sung psalms psalms of thanksgiving.
See that? Hey, that was the prayer they prayed, man. And we got to get that in the Hebrew, man. And they sung psalms giving thanks after they dedicated the temple. Right? And that's what we got to be in that same spirit, have that same zeal for our nation. Right? And that's the same thing that Christ was keeping, man. We read about in John 10 and 22. Christ kept this same feast, man, of rededicating the temple. Right? But come.
If I can get 1 Maccabees 6 and 6, maybe. First Maccabees 6 and then start from 6.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. And that Lysias, who went forth first with a great power, was driven away of the Jews, and that they were made strong by the armor and power and stores of spoils which they had gotten of the armies whom they had destroyed.
We destroyed these other nations when we went to war. We get verse 7 as well.
Also, that they had pulled down the abomination which he had set up upon the altar.
So that temple as well, the abominations on the altar that they set up. The abominations that they set up on the altar in that temple, and we pulled it down. And that's what we have to do as well with this the society that we're stuck in, man. The abominations that have been perpetuated and put into our head, and we've got to pull that down, man. Let me get Jeremiah 10 and 2 as well. So, you know, because a lot of our families, they was keeping these other celebrations that Babylon penetrated into this world, man. You know.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse number 2. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right, that's the most important part that I wanted. We can't be learning the way of the heathen, you know. There's a lot of times we're brought up and we don't question the stuff that we're learning, you know. But when you question the stuff that you're learning, hey, that's when you take into account that I'm doing folly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, come on, let me get Romans 13 and 12 up.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse number 12. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light.
So we got to cast off the works of darkness, man. Just like Judas Maccabeus, just like Judas Maccabeus, how we cast off the works of darkness, man, that was set up on the altar. That's what we have to do. We have to cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. You know, being this word that the Most High has given to us, man. Let me get 1 Maccabees 6 and 8 to 13, brother, for sure.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse... I'll finish 7. Start from verse 7. It's 1 Maccabees 6 and verse 7. Also, they that had pulled down the abomination which he had set up upon the altar in Jerusalem, and that they had compassed about the sanctuary with high walls, as before.
So we got to set up high walls as well, man. We got to protect our mind, man. You know, we got to protect the temple. We are that temple that we have to protect, man. You know, continue, King.
And his city, Besura. Now when the king heard these words, he was astonished and sore moved,
Right, because he was astonished because he put in a lot of work to destroy the Israelites, man. You know, but somehow he still prevailed. Continue, King.
Whereupon he lay down upon his bed.
And this is how you know that they're so sick. But they tried to destroy the Israelites as much as possible, that to the point where he actually fell sick and died and passed away. How much did he want to destroy the Israelites? Right. How much did he want to destroy the Israelites for you to die because of that fool? Continue, King.
And fell sick for grief, because it had not befallen him as he looked for.
Right, because he looked for it to destroy us a certain type of way, and it never prevailed. Continue, King.
And there he continued many days, for his grief was ever more and more, and he made account that he should die. Wherefore he called for all his friends and said unto them, the sleep is gone from me. The sleep is gone from mine eyes, and my heart faileth for very care. And I thought with myself, into what tribulation am I come, and how great a flood of misery is it, wherein now I am. For I was bountiful and beloved in my power, but now I remember the evils that I did at Jerusalem.
So they committed evils unto Jerusalem, man. Wicked atrocities, you know. Yeah, wicked atrocities that they did, man. Continue, King.
And that I took all the vessels of gold and silver that were therein, and sent to destroy the inhabitants of Judea without a cause.
It was without a cause, man. For no reason. They're greedy, innit? The heathen are greedy, man. You know, I've got this one heathen at my workplace. He has a huge stomach, man. They're just greedy for no reason. Let me get the next verse, King.
Verse 13. I perceive, therefore, that for this cause these troubles are come upon me.
Right.
And behold, I perish through great grief in a strange land.
Right, man. And that's how the most... Hey, we was at the museum the other day, man. We kind of saw the skeleton on show. And was thinking, the brother said, hey, what wickedness did he do for him to be on show like that, man? His mouth wide and he's just bent up, you know? Yeah, man. But can't. Let me get 1 Maccabees 6:21-28, sure. Because they weren't only the other nations that were persecuting us, but there was also wicked of our nation, you know? You can start from 21.
The book of 1